You can support this show at patreon.com/ASA podcasting.
Grumble, grumble, grumble.
The wasteland is a post-apocalyptic mess as the sole survivor wanders out about to see the rest. Nuclear explosions sending out the gamma rays from deep within the core, frozen atomic waves. From deep within the core, frozen atomic waves.
Hello and welcome to the 469th edition of the Fallout Feed. I am Andrew, joined by a flock of my favorite Fallout folks. Tonight, I've got Ray. What's up, Ray?
Hello, hello.
And also Jess. What is going on, Jess?
We are all here. The gang is here.
The gang
Hey,
is
Andrew.
back together again. All right, what do we got on the show tonight, you guys? Well, it looks like we're probably going to get into a little bit of gameplay. Gasp, surprise, surprise. Also,
Maybe a lot of gameplay. I don't know. It's looking like people played a lot of games.
It's like Ray played about 13 different games here.
Mhm.
Is that Dark Star Runner? What? We've also got Jess wants to mention our patrons. We'll give a little salute to the people out there who make the show possible. Thank you, guys. Also, a little bit of game time this week. Prepared a special Helter Shelter for you guys regarding the Prime Wasteland telephone switchboard. So we're gonna make a couple of phone calls out there in the wasteland. See if we can reach any of our compadres.
I don't think PTS stands for Prime Telephone Switchboard.
No,
And-
it doesn't. It doesn't.
No, and we're not doing the railroad quest going into the switchboard. That is the public test server, Andrew.
Oh.
But yeah, we've got some new info on what's coming, what is new in the game and being tested right now.
Let's go to the public test server and check it out. Also, a game calendar coming up on 76. And some shouts. We've got people who are already clearing that scoreboard.
You know, I have one friend I didn't put on the list because he doesn't listen to the show, but he has finished on all three systems: PC, PlayStation, Xbox. Ridiculous.
You gotta... I don't know if that person's much of a friend. They don't listen to the show, Jess.
Well, to be honest, he has a few times, but not regularly enough to get a Mo shout out. I just, I send him a nice job.
That might be worse. That might be worse even. Oh, I've heard it. It's not for me.
Can you imagine?
He's made the active decision.
You know what?
not to
I've got the
listen.
sound file. I'll text it to him.
All right, you guys. So let's go ahead and roll right into it. See what else everyone's getting into here. Looks like Ray, you've got lots of stuff on your list tonight. What have you been getting into this week, sir?
Not much. I played a couple of games. That was it.
Not much. You got every damn game on the earth here. What? Seriously, what happened? Did Fallout break?
No, I just decided I needed to, since I went to all the trouble of loading up the next gen update, even though now I grumble,
Grumble.
found out that Fallout London is going to work on the old version.
Yeah, official word. They're going to try to roll out for both versions, but they're releasing their stable version with some updates that they had for April, and even their own downgrade array. So you can roll it back if you want using their
It's a little
downgrader.
late now after I
Isn't it?
deleted 2,000 mods.
Oh, damn.
Oh, that's so not fair. See, I thought you had both installed. You completely got rid of the other,
Yeah, I cleaned everything out.
starting
Just
fresh.
Wiped it.
Well, we didn't know at the time, not just talking London, but we didn't know about the issues that the next gen update was going to have, right?
No.
And all the slowdowns, and so yeah, mods are being ported over slower than expected. It's a bit of a thing.
Yeah. So I wanted to play, some of the new content. I had started up my stealth melee character, so I thought, well, let me look into it because I really had no idea what was there. Now, after doing several of them, I realized that it's almost all power armor and heavy weapons. So that if you're gonna do a power armor heavy weapon character, hey, great, you got some fun new stuff to play with.
But not exactly perfect for your stealth gameplay.
But no sneaky nothing. And it's also so. I started, looking into them. I was probably level 18-ish. And some of these are meant to be a little bit higher. Leveled, you've got some pretty tough enemies to fight. And so I've had to, I've had to figure out how to get around some of this stuff and how to manage some of the tougher fights. So
That's actually cool then, adding a challenge for you. And you said for the your vanilla playthrough on next gen, you're not doing survival, right? Or are you now?
no, I'm not.
Mhm.
No. So,
If there was a,
I could
sorry, go
I
ahead.
could see that that the quests were leading me to the glowing sea.
Right. Okay.
So if you're going to go to the glowing sea, first you have to go rescue Lorenzo, so that you get access
your
to the
serum.
mysterious serum.
Yeah. Ray loves his
Yeah.
serums.
Oh, love that serum.
Hey, I have a new foot serum. Have you ever heard of Dr.
Yeah. I might try a different doctor. Andrew, that one does not smell so
Dr.
good.
Snake Oils?
But yeah,
foot
so
serum.
the big creations that came as part of the update was what? It was Enclave Remnants, Makeshift Weapons, and Halloween Workshop, right? So were these mostly from the Enclave Remnants?
Yeah, so that's the predominance of the questing.
Mhm.
The All Hallows Eve was very interesting. It wasn't very long.
That made my ears perk up. What's that?
So it's a group of high society that had a Halloween party. And you're going to go crash it.
Okay. Oh, Raiders at Raider Time Party. Is it kind of like the Raider Prom mod we did that added
No.
this party with a bunch of decorations? Okay.
The Bolton, not Bolton.
Yeah, no,
That
they're
witch
none
party.
of them are none of them are raiders. Well, there's some raiders outside. So that one has a little bit of a glitch. So you're supposed to listen to this signal on your Pit Boy. But no matter what you do, it doesn't tell you. It won't start the next part of the quest. It won't tell you where to go, and it won't tell you if you're close. So I'm not sure how console players get around it, but PC players set the stage to the next level to bypass that section, and it kicks in and gives you the location. So that one was a lot of fun. You get some masks and a power armor helmet. That's all part of the game lore. It's
No, that's fun.
was it one of the Amazing Awesome Tales or something that has the there's a bad guy called the Decapitalist.
Okay.
That's fun.
And so that's one of the masks that you get. There's a picket fence magazine that lets you craft Halloween goodies.
Oh,
That's the
in
part
your-
I'm excited about. I heard there were like 30 some
Whoa.
settlement items or whatever for Halloween, which is great.
All right. I need to check that out.
So that one was fun. There's the one called When Pigs Fly. And so that's like the weapon workshop thing.
Yeah, the makeshift weapons where you get like the weird piggy bank one, right?
Yeah, the piggy
What?
bank launcher.
Are there piggy
And-
banks in the game? Piggy.
There are now. Are they working for you though? Are they working for you, Ray? I know that's the one that some people were getting the big exclamation mark instead of the
Oh.
weapon.
Yeah, I mean it shows up in my Pit Boy, and I could see the piggy banks, but I haven't
Okay,
actually
perfect.
tried to shoot them.
Yeah, before when the explosions and some of the weapons I think were giving errors, like the whole lookup failed kind of thing, but live and big on your screen. But I'm pretty sure that has been worked through at this point. I mean, they've done 2 updates to the next gen. I know there are still issues, but that's happening. And then of course the Enclave stuff you're talking about with all the equipment.
Yeah, so that one's kind of thready. So there is Speak of the Devil. So that's an Enclave soldier that quits and takes a set of XO2 with him. Then
Exo 2.
the best of 3 is a bunch of gunners that have gotten a hold of some Enclave stuff.
Mhm.
And then I can't remember what the regular Enclave might be part of that Speak of the Devil. So once you find that guy's hideout and get the power armor for yourself, then the Enclave comes after you and tries to take it back numerous times.
And these quests kind of start to come together in the story.
Yeah.
You said you've been following them. Have you gotten to where they're bringing you to the Glowing Sea yet? Is that
Yeah. So I've been through the Glowing Sea, several different locations, but there you get you get the XO2 armor. Also in the process, you get Hellfire armor, Tesla cannon, a special flamer. There's still one more flamer to get from the Forged. I haven't done that one yet.
Cool.
But there's a character called the Pyromaniac. So you take him out and you get some stuff. So it's been pretty fun. And, it would be a lot more fun if I was doing a power armor heavy weapons character.
Right, or a lot more fun if it was running well with all your other mods.
Well, I'm just not running any mods.
Right, that's kind of what I mean. Yeah,
So
fact
the
that it's not integrated.
yeah.
You said
Uh,
you weren't too happy with the lack of like a new sneaky melee weapon or something. With all the new big guns that they introduced, is there a melee weapon from another Fallout game that they could easily port in that is cool in another game that just they don't have in Fallout 4 that you would like for them to add? I mean, you've got every mod under the sun, so of course you've already added everything like that, but
Except not now, right?
yeah,
'Cause he's
not
playing
now
without any of them.
because you erased everything.
yeah.
Sorry.
But an
it's
auto
okay.
axe, would be cool.
Oh, there
in
you
Fallout
go.
4.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
But it's too loud. You can't be a sneaky auto axe person. Can you silence an auto axe?
Suppressed auto axe, yeah, like a little belt sander kind of thing.
Yeah, a little heavy, a big old muffler hanging off the back. Catalytic converter.
That's funny. Or
But
if you could just create a new weapon, or there
the
was
thing is that I've already
That
got the
weapon workshop.
two perfect melee weapons.
Right.
So Pikmin's
Pikmin's
blade,
blade.
and Crim's Tooth.
and what was the
Yeah.
other one?
Crim's
Krems.
Tooth.
Crim's Tooth, right? Yeah.
You can go with
So-
two-handed. If you could dual wield those
Oh,
blades,
That'd be huge.
slice and dice.
That'd be huge.
Yeah. That's what my Skyrim character does. So
Exactly.
Yep, double blades, stabby.
But I guess my last question, kind of about the way the Fallout 4 Next Gen is running, are you getting the NPC staggers, or because you have pretty much zero mods, are you not getting the extra long load times other people are getting and the NPC
No.
lag?
No, I don't know about the NPC lag, because I definitely don't have any followers, and I don't have any mods. But I do get the ridiculously long load screens, like we talked about on the last show,
Right.
and that's where I do the Windows key, and then tab back into the game, and it
Tab out, tab in, it's ready to go. That's so lame.
Yeah.
I'm glad you found
it's
something that works.
ridiculous that it works, but it does work. It doesn't work every single time, but at least 90% of the time.
60% of the time, it works every time.
Considering
Now,
you
I
have
don't-
the most upgraded computer of pretty much anyone we know right now, like, it should not be slow.
Whenever you're doing stuff like that, is it that it would have taken the same amount of time, but since I tabbed out and tabbed back in, I didn't really notice how long it took because I was busy doing something else in between.
Right. I mean, that's fair. Yeah, like me with Starfield load screens. Oh, I looked at Twitter. I didn't even. What load screens is Starfield? I never see them. Yeah, I see. I know what you mean.
Yeah,
But I'm
so
sure it
I
is
don't
quicker.
know. Yeah, it. I mean, you can see because when you tab back in a lot of cases, it just boom, you're right into the screen. So I don't know. I was skeptical when I first read the tip, but now I've been using it consistently, and it definitely works.
What sort of presence did the Enclave have in vanilla Fallout 4?
None.
Was there any reference, like terminals and stuff like that? Was that probably the only talk, or was
I
there
can't
even
think
that?
of anything.
No outposts or bases or anything like that? Huh.
Well, you talked to
best-
President Eden, or am I? No, I'm thinking about Fallout 3 again.
Yeah, no, at best, there would be a sideways reference to the government and such, but I don't think there was any Enclave reference in 4.
Yeah, it's in they're
Not
they're
naturally.
in they're definitely in 1, 2, 3 in Vegas.
And very much in 76.
7 is just not 4. That's it.
Yeah.
But they are
you
now.
know, they just weren't in New England.
I guess they were everywhere but Boston.
But that's why people have modded them in and brought stuff from the Enclave over. Obviously with the new creations, and then of course, with America Rising, that huge mod that's been working over time.
No,
But-
but it's definitely fun. I can't. I'll get a lot tougher when I get the second level of Blitz. So
Nice. So that's your Fallout 4 play. How about, what else are you playing? Are you still in Starfield?
oh, of course. So I've been kind of going crazy with the alternate start mod. And so, I wanted to start a pirate that didn't have to have anything to do with UC. So I downloaded the Pirate Immersive Crimson Fleet Start mod.
Oh, so that's a different alternate start mod just for the fleet.
So what this one does, so I still did the alternate start and started at the den. And so I didn't do anything with Constellation. I didn't do anything with the UC. I started at the den, and then with this Crimson Fleet start, you rack up a bounty against the UC. And then this pirate ship pops into where, the whatever space you happen to be in at the time, and says, "Hey, we've been watching you, and you look like you our Crimson Fleet material. Go talk to so and so in Sidonia. So it's the way that you start the Crimson Fleet. The other ways, except that this time you didn't have to go to jail and you didn't have to talk to the guy on the
Sweet. No betraying anybody.
yeah.
No doing the UC Vanguard. Yeah.
So that was fun. Then I started it. So I got through the Crimson Fleet quest line on that one.
Oh, you did the whole quest line on that playthrough?
Yeah.
Cool. Because that gets pretty tough by the end with some of those battles.
Yeah.
Space battle in particular.
Yeah. So then I started a smuggler character. And this time I wanted to, I wanted to do more with contraband. And so I loaded a mod that called More Contraband, and shoot, there was another one, but it variable contraband pricing. And so that one, if you take your contraband to the Den or to Parima, the Red Mile, you get a much lower price. So it encourages you to go through the scan and defeat the scans, and sell them in the settled system so that you get a much, much higher price for your contraband.
Excellent. Needed.
Yeah.
Needed.
So that was a lot of fun. You work on getting that, passing those contraband tests. Also, I loaded a mod that changed the deception skill. The way that it's set up in vanilla Starfield is you have to pirate ships in order to advance the skill.
Right.
Well, this wasn't a pirate character. This was a smuggler.
You were a pirate once.
No, I was never a pirate. I was a smuggler.
What's the difference?
Well, if you're a famous smuggler, you're not doing it right.
My father says a criminal's a criminal.
Your father lacks an appreciation of the finer points of bad behavior.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't into pirating ships. He didn't want to intimidate people.
There needs to be more than one way.
Yeah, make them give this up. So the Deception Challenge mod changes it to selling contraband.
Sweet. Okay.
So, you sell 20 pieces of contraband, and now you level up to the next level, and then it keeps going up. So that made a lot of sense for this character.
Some of our chat friends listening along with us right now are kind of talking about smuggling contraband, getting caught more often than not, and that they haven't actually done much smuggling. So that's a fun thing to play with. I know it's a little bit limited in the base game. You can get, you get shielded cargo on a few ships. You can get like the Razor Leaf, for instance, but you can also buy upgraded shielded cargo and like the, what's it called? The jammer. You can get the jammer there at the Red Mile too.
Jammer,
and of course, you get a lot more probably with Crimson Fleet.
Yeah, you do get the boosted jammer with them, but because with this character, I didn't do anything with the Crimson Fleet. The way I got started on this character was I was just doing random rolls. So one of the options on location for the alternate start mod is a random location. And so I was getting dropped into, the area around one of a kind salvage, just various, facilities. And, one of the places that it dropped me was on a level 75 planet that the frontier couldn't leave. So there wasn't any system
Oh, yes, you messaged about
Within-
that start.
within 15 light years.
So the ship you're given, you're too far away to actually get to any other planet with the base frontier.
Yeah.
Would you be able to maybe steal a ship? Would that be the only way to get off? Not even possible, right?
This system, there is zero life.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, there's some alien life, but there's no facilities, there's no people. There was nothing, no ships landing. It was like, okay, this is funny, haha. Next.
Yep.
And so I ended up at what's his name? Sonny DeFalco's island.
Yeah, Sonny DeFalco's island. That's a great location.
And so, I'm running around. I had never been to this location before.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
And so, I ended up collecting like 40 bottles of Aurora, from this place. And so I thought, okay, well, this is a good start for a smuggler. So that's when I started looking for smuggler mods and came up with those. Now, short of doing Vulture's Roost over and over and over again, there's not that much contraband in the in the game.
No, I mean that's kind of the point of contraband, though, right? It should be rare. Like there shouldn't be harvested organs around every corner, or mech parts. But yeah,
Yeah.
usually find one or two pieces at a time. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot of so there's mods that let you harvest organs.
No,
from the
snip,
people you
snip.
kill.
No, I'm here to harvest your organs. Like going after everybody.
But so I settled on a mod called Contraband Crafting Updated.
Okay.
And with this mod, I could craft sentient AI adapters. And so I'm like, cool. All right. Well, I'll make these. They're the second most valuable contraband. The stolen art is the most valuable. But I'm like, okay, well, I can make this. Well, if you're going to do something like this, you need to go all in. So I started looking at building outposts in order to supply me the parts I needed to make these sentient AI adapters.
Mm-hmm.
And it ended up taking all 8 of my outposts, and some rather intense planet searching to find locations that had all of the components that planet had to offer that I needed.
So
And
you wait. So you you were trying to do contraband, ended up doing an entire network of like 8 outposts, lots of searching to get them set up, just to
Yeah.
make the mod work.
yeah.
My goodness. Okay.
And so I finally got it done and, started cranking out contraband. And so that was a ton of fun.
I mean, it's a great way to learn new things about the game for sure. Something you probably wouldn't have done otherwise. People who get really into crafting with outposts, it is quite the ordeal. Now, are you setting up automation between them to route them to different
No.
places, or are you going picking up your eyes and your ears and your body parts and then
Well,
crafting
no,
them?
I didn't do harvested organs.
Right, you did sentient AI. Sorry.
It ended up working out pretty good. So the last one I built was on Katydid. And it was the last one because I had to build out my ship to be able to jump 28 light years.
Right.
Because that's the far jump. And once I got Katydid set up, turns out it's a 500 hour wait planet. So it's like Venus.
Oh no. Okay. Oh no, that's good. So the extra fast.
Yeah.
Whereas like an hour equals 500. Okay, I've
Yes.
definitely been to Katydid. I mean, I've been to all of them, but cool.
Yeah. So I would start my main base was in Erdani, which is on the far left side of the map. And
Katydid is far right.
far right. So I'd go to Katydid, sleep, and reset everybody's inventories, harvest all my stuff, and make my way back across the constellations back to my home base in Erdani, make my sentient AI, and then start hopping system to system to get to sell it all off. And,
Wow. So this is all part of the smuggler characters. You've got the smuggler character stuff for them, contraband crafting updated. You've also got something listed, more contraband, that added kind of contraband you can sell. Is it the same character?
Yeah, so that just made it more prevalent.
Right, more of it. Mhm.
But that still wasn't enough. So I had to end up, looking for a crafting mod.
Okay, that totally makes sense. It's funny. I'm really excited about Star Wars Outlaws coming out next month. I want to get into that smuggler life too. I mean, I haven't done it in Starfield, but the whole smuggler thing is just a fun way to play. I think we've all kind of romanticized it after Han Solo and such.
For sure.
And Firefly.
So once I got that done, and then sold lots of contraband, I came across a mod called Dark Star Manufacturing, and
Ooh, I've heard good things about it.
a weapons manufacturing mod. And so I thought, okay, well, I'm going to make a gun runner. And so I made a gun runner character, and come to find out, you got to be like level 109 to be able to actually, craft a weapon from material. There's all
Level
kinds of upgrades.
109?
But yeah,
For different alternate start mods, have you tried the SKK Fast Start mod?
that's the one I use.
That is the one you use. Okay, I know that was available on Xbox too for people who are curious because you do PC. So my friend DW Pierce recommended that one to me if I wanted to try it. So okay,
Yeah,
same one.
it's nice. So you can decide whether you want to, start off with Constellation, not start with Constellation, but have the option to join them, or you can just have them not exist. Now, when you do that, all of those characters hang out at the lodge and wait for you to come by and recruit them as followers.
Oh, okay.
But you don't have the quest line. That's
really different. Okay, so if you want Sarah Round to dislike things, you can pick her up, but otherwise you don't have to.
Exactly.
Got it.
So then, after you've chosen how you're going to deal with Constellation, then you choose your starting location, and so you can start at the lodge, New Atlantis, Aquila City, Neon, the Den, or there's a random location.
Perfect. Okay.
And so you've got that flexibility there. So I've started a character at so Where did I start? I started at the lodge with the gun runner.
I know you started one at Neon.
Yeah, I started one at Neon. I started one at Aquila, and actually went through the Ranger Quest line.
Hmm.
I haven't started one at New Atlantis without
That does-
Constellation.
Okay, I was gonna say yeah, because that does seem kind of normal.
Yeah, it's very normal.
There is the question from Clint. If he's wondering if the mod to make Constellation Companions only works with New Game Plus. Do you know?
I don't know.
Okay.
And the random locations are fun to play around with, but not terribly practical.
Right. Yeah. The game, games are designed certain ways for certain reasons. And unlike Skyrim, where everything's connected, or Fallout, where you can kind of, make it somewhere from somewhere, sometimes your ship can't travel. So, yeah, that makes sense.
So,
Cool.
But it was good for the, for my smuggler start. So that wasn't bad. So that's been the bulk of my gameplay.
It's been 2 weeks, so lots of
Yeah.
gameplay, lots of mods, everything. And you thought you were playing 100 different games. No, it's just these are all the quests and mods you've been running.
Yeah, I had to have reminders to myself of all the stuff I've done. Because there'd been so much. After 2 weeks, I've got a lot of hours in.
Hear that?
I thought you played a game called Pirate. Pyromaniac sounds like a fun game.
Yeah.
The best of 3? Come on. Beats playing the worst of 3.
And absolutely. If you got a choice between the two, go with the best of 3 usually.
For sure.
All right. Thank you much, Ray. How about you, Jess? What have you been getting into these last couple weeks? I guess it's been.
Yeah, technically, because we've been every other week on the actual feed lately with Vault Talks in between, it's been different. I think this is the most we've ever had off, at least in the last 6 years that I've been doing the show with y'all. Usually, we'll take a week around Christmas, maybe 2, but we put in a placeholder. But to have had 3 weeks off in the course of the last 7 weeks, that's
I've been on the road to grandma's houses.
I'm glad that we're not making you call in every week like usual. Usually when we're on the road, we have you call in, and there's no need of that every week. My goodness. But
Especially
so in
with
that time,
the TV shows, extra content, right?
I've played a lot too. I didn't write everything down, and nor am I going to, but I got a lot of Fallout to talk, I think, but I will say I am back on my bullshit. Pardon me. But I've been really into tower defense the last couple of weeks. People who don't know, tower defense is right up there with strategy as one of my favorite genres after Bethesda RPGs or Bethesda BioWare RPGs. I love strategy. I love tower defense, and it's a little bit more mindless because you're just kind of quickly placing towers, upgrading them, dealing with an onslaught of enemies. For those who don't know tower defense games, and you probably do, but if you don't, essentially you get a grid. You usually get sometimes a path, sometimes an open world. Enemies are marching through, trying to get to a goal. You're trying to stop them. So it's like a horde mode in a lot of shooter games. But yeah, so you place towers and you try to stop them on the way. They have different powers. As you kill enemies, you get points to upgrade. And a great time. I love tower defense. Defense Grid 1 and Defense Grid 2 are 2 of my fave games. Defense Grid 2, I played so much I actually got on the world leaderboard for a while on that one. It was a...
Look at you.
Until the bots. Here's the thing. The leaderboard is both PC and console. And as much as I played, you still can't beat somebody on a PC with a program mixed with that split-second timing. Because there were some people that were definitely botting it to get the best times. But it was a lot of fun. So anyway, what I've been playing is some listeners may have tried this, but Kingdom Rush. Kingdom Rush is a mobile game first, a phone game first, but it is out. They released them, obviously it's on PC, and it came out to Xbox about a year ago. I didn't realize they had come out, Kingdom Rush 1, Kingdom Rush Frontiers, and Kingdom Rush Origins, all three came out last year. So if you're into good tower defense, I highly recommend these. It's fantasy themed. It is mobile feeling. You know, it's got a bit of that vibe. It's a bit of like, you know, I mean, they all kind of sound the same. Kingdom Rush, Evany, a little bit like, hello, my liege. You know that vibes. Come play with us, my liege. Like those mobile games have microtransactions, but the Xbox version and PC version, they got rid of the microtransactions, so no worry. But yeah, if you enjoy that, I highly recommend them. I played completely through 2 of them, and I've still got the third I'm trying to resist, but that was a big thing. I played a game called Coffee Talk, which I mentioned before is an adventure story game. I played a couple years ago. Coffee Talk 2 came out a year and a half ago now, I think. I finally played through all that, got most of the achievements. I started the Star Trek Resolute game. I think, it's called Star Trek : something. Lee, if you're in chat, can you help me? You might know what it is. Resurgence. That's what it is. Star Trek : Resurgence. And it's a Telltale.
Resurgence League.
That sounds like something you need to go to the doctor for.
Yeah, no, the colon is silent. As it should be. He's not a noisy colon. But yeah, Star Trek Resurgence, it's pretty cool. Anyway, and that got me being like, oh, I gotta watch some Star Trek. So I'm back watching DS9 too, which, you know, always fun. But yeah, played a lot of small games, just kind of catching up. But when I haven't been playing all this random stuff or obsessing over it, I tell you, Kingdom Rush, I had a weekend where basically that's all I did. My holiday weekend, July 4th, outside of, because we already talked about July 4th a little bit, outside of grinding the scoreboard, I just did tower defense. But besides that, I've been playing 76. So I did not do Fashnacht as much as many of our friends and listeners. This Fashnacht was interesting. So, you know, I've said every time they've done this that we only need Fashnacht once a year. You know, we really only need Fashnacht once a year.
You know, it's a little hot this time of year in Helvetia to be wearing those big masks.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to sweat in there. You're like the ghoul. You got sweat pouring out of your eyes. Like, no. But yeah, so it was back for 2 weeks, and all the new masks are there. The initial thought was, ooh, so not only did they rework the event where, you know, you can get a behemoth now, you can get various things at the end. The waves are a little bit more solid, like things are running a little bit better. We thought also, hey, the drop rate might be a little better. Turns out the drop rate those first couple days people were reporting didn't really keep up for anybody. The vast majority of people I know, even if they played a lot over 2 weeks, they only got 1 or 2 rares. Some people still got none. The new masks, there were 5 new masks and then 5 glowing variants of them, plus some new plans like the butter churn and such. I feel like a lot of people did get at least a couple of the plans. Most people I know who were looking for it got the butter churn, and a lot of people got at least 1 glowing. But it still became the grind that Fashnacht can be. It's a bit of a look. I love marching with Rovens. I like the event in general because it's a chance to show up, wave to people, talk to friends. It's one of the most social of the events. But by day 3 or 4, and certainly by the second week, it's the opposite of social. It's like being in the mall on Christmas Eve when like people are just, they're there, but they're not really there. They just got things to do. And in this case, it's grinding for masks. And, you know, hopefully they get their mask they want under the tree. But yeah, so I saw some feedback among new players. And one thing that is cool about it is that this would be the first Fashnacht for a lot of people who just started playing in April or May. You know, all the new players we've talked about who have come in. But I've heard comments from some of them, it was a little discouraging. They're like, this is the first event where the game seems different. You know, I go to a Rad Rumble or I try to do another event or try to do anything and people just aren't there. I'm on a server that says there are 18 or 20 people, but nobody shows up to anything. And it's because most of them are AFK, not really playing. Like Fashnacht is just, it's like that, you know? So I think some of the new players did not enjoy it as much as maybe they enjoyed Mothman Equinox or Aliens or some of the others. As always, please, for the love of God, Bethesda, increase the drop rate. I don't care if you got to give us 2 masks every event. Just increase the drop rate, you know? Also, the donation box. So you guys remember how I was talking about, and they added a donation box at the event?
Yeah, I saw that.
So it wasn't being used quite like we expected. First of all, there were not enough berets in there when I checked. Hello, people, give me your berets. But second, we thought people might drop all their extra masks in there, and some were, but there were a number of people who were just scooping them up. So, people would come by or be waiting there, pulling stuff out as fast as it got put in. So it didn't end up getting used as much as you thought, because people were just grabbing everything to resell or hoard or whatever, which wasn't the point. It's for sharing is caring, okay? We get enough people trying to pick up and scalp things like consoles in real life. We don't need to be doing that with our Fashnock masks in game. So so Lyra mentions in the chat, people were even grabbing spoiled meat. Yeah, that was the thing. People started dumping spoiled meat in there just to fill up people's inventory who were doing nothing but grab things. And people were still taking it. It's like just spamming collect. So anyway, it was a good idea. Didn't work out quite as well as people had hoped for a way to share masks. All in all, I did less than 10 Fashnox.
What were they trying to eliminate? Just the whole having to trade 1-to-1 at the end of each parade between a bunch of different people?
Trading, people dropping their bags all over, all around the parade of masks that they didn't want. So it's littered with bags. You have to go and check each one. I think they were just trying to make it easier for people to find things to trade. Just make it a simpler way to share. Like, I've got witches already. I'll put the witch in here. I've already got a turkey mask. Let me put the turkey in there.
It's like we taught them the concept of a shareable drop bag.
Right. And they've added it, the donation boxes. They've gone a little bit overboard with them, which makes them less useful. So it was great that they added them a little over a year ago now. So you get the one right by Vault 76. You get some at, train stations and various major locations. But there are almost too many now. So because they're not centralized, people won't check them as regularly. I feel like one of the things that make a donations box good is if you've only got like 3 or 4 of them on the map, you know where to check for things. When you've got 20 some of them or 30 some of them, people aren't going to go to every single box to check for stuff. It's just like when we knew, you always check the blue suitcase by the train station. This is where you go. This is where people trade. So these kind of stood in for that, but they've added enough of them that it's not quite as useful, in my opinion. But anywho, Fashnock, those are my thoughts on that. I only ran less than 10 marches.
Yeah.
Kind of like in February, I only did about 10 marches. I might be a little over 10 in February. But I am no longer on the mask grind. I had my Fashnocks where I did 50 plus, at least 40, 50 on some. And that was for years. I'm not doing that anymore. I do not need every glowy and every rare. I have seen what it has done to my friends, and I do not want that to happen to me.
They're hollow shells of their former selves.
Exactly. They've dropped 10 pounds. It's like you don't go to the mall on Christmas Eve unless you're just going for fun and to get a coffee and watch people. and you don't go to Fashnock on the second week. It's just not worth it.
You see people cradled in the corner.
But no, it was fun. And there were some successful Fashnocks, and I popped over occasionally to help. There was one that I think just myself and my friend Mischievous did with everybody else AFK. There were a few like that where it'd be like there'd be 5 AFK people, 8 AFK people, and me and one other. So and the plans were more important. Yeah. So that's Fashnock. I also did a bit of a scoreboard intensive. So I think I was in the 40s last show or whatever. I'm up to I think 68 now. So I didn't do as much on the double score as I should have. I think I only did a couple. I didn't do all the weeklies and dailies. But I am still generally doing the thing where I log in once a week, get all the weeklies and all the dailies. And that has been enough to get me to about 67, 68 now. And I did my favorite way to do it is to either pop the score booster late on Saturday and get everything Saturday and Sunday, all your weeklies with a boosted score, and then 2 days with the dailies. Well, I was extra smart this week or last week, and I actually popped it on Monday night around midnight. So I got all of Monday's weeklies and dailies boosted, and then on Tuesday I got all the weeklies and dailies boosted.
I see. You double dipped your weeklies.
Double dip the weeklies as well. Yeah, just I was in the zone, so I got over 20 ranks, getting me up there. Also re-rolled a bunch. I shared a picture in the Discord. Let me see if I still have it. But basically, I re-rolled enough that I had like 7 or 8 epics. I used a lot of re-rollers to make it worth it. Here we go. Actually, it wasn't that many. It was 6 epics. But yeah, I re-rolled a bunch, and I might have used at least 10 re-rollers. But I got some epics I hadn't seen before. So, I mean, here's a good one: is epic kill a super mutant with a rifle. That's fun because you can. I actually have a handmade that I like that I pulled out of the stash to do that. Kill a Deathclaw or Rad Scorpion epic. That's an easy epic because you can just go up by the farm with Dogwood Die Off there as a Mac farm and grab a couple Rad Scorps. Kill a Cryptid with a melee weapon. That's actually really fun. I crafted so I don't do melee that much, but I crafted a Grognak's axe. And have you seen the new guitar axe skin for the Grognak axe?
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. And then you do the poses with it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so fun. So I did that, and I was slaying grafted monsters with a guitar and setting them flying. That was actually a really good time.
Yeah, it makes a cool sound, like a kadong strum thing.
Mm-hmm. But I got an epic that I hadn't seen before, and it was collect ultracite ore or scrap, 20. So you have to collect 20 pieces of ultracite ore or scrap. And I went by a Fisher site, and I was able to grab like 5 at the Fisher site, and I'm like, oh gosh, this is a lot. So I went and ran the Glass Cavern for the first time in probably 2 years.
Yeah, no reason to go there anymore since they spawned the extra Jingle Scorched.
Oh, it was the best place for Jingle Scorched. Yeah, when they stopped having them inside alone, that was just too bad because I enjoyed that myself. But yeah, not really reason to do there. We don't need that much ultracite scrap. Like I checked my scrap box. I've got like 720 ultracite scrap, because builds up over time for various things. But running the Glass Cavern, it was a fun adventure. I did it solo, and in the Scorched and there aren't that hard. You run into some, cool creatures, Mirelurk Deep Kings, and of course, Scorch Beasts and stuff as you get to the end. But yeah, I got plenty of ultracite scrap. So each one of these I did with a boosted score. I got 2100 for the epics. So like you get 1400 score for a regular boosted, 2100 for an epic. So that's how I got so much. And let's see, you can actually
did the weeklies doubled or just the dailies?
That's the weeklies too, right? Because it's not like a double score weekend only does dailies, but the boost will boost everything.
Right. Okay.
So it's pretty awesome. So like you can visually see what your boost is. So say I was at 15%. Well, naturally I'm at 15% right now because that's one 5% boost and one 10% boost. As you go up the scoreboard, you can unlock those. But then you pop a score booster and that gives you an extra 25% right there. So my score boost was at 40%, and it visually shows that right on the thing. So.
And you pop in 4 lunch boxes too?
I did pop, yes. Yeah, I popped lunch boxes. Because some of that, I did half of it in a custom world. So, of course, XP rollover doesn't count there. But I definitely got some XP rollover, kind of helping, too. I don't think I probably would have gotten, 23 levels of score without that.
I always thought that the lunchbox provided a 25% XP earning boost, but you could only pop 1 at a time for yourself. I popped a few the other day just to see. Yeah, I thought that you had to get your team together to stack. But is that if you want to stack 16?
No, you still only stack 4. So lunchboxes have generally always been you could stack up to 4, and so that kind of mixes and matches with your team in that you do it with a team. You each got your 4, so everybody on the team is getting that 100% boost. 4 25%. But you don't need to do it with a team. You can totally do it solo too. So they're kind of 2 separate things. What you do get with the 4-person team is the little, handshake casual intelligence bonus. That's also helping your XP gain.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that was fun. So that was my scoreboard intensive. And then for the XP rollover, a couple other things I did. I think we talked about it 2 weeks ago, but it was only just happening. We talked about how with the new event, you get in the Skyline Valley, where you drop a nuke on it and you have to fight the Storm Goliaths. And the way to do it is kind of bring them all down around the same time so they don't get tougher as you drop each one. But we had known that if you used a gamma gun or radiation kind of weapons, they were very susceptible to that and would go down quicker. Since then, like right around that time, so it might have been mentioned, we found that using the overly generous perk that gives rads and any kind of automatic melee weapon like an auto axe, you can melt a Storm Goliath, one of the tougher enemies in the game, in like 10 seconds. It is just...
What is the equation at work there?
So I don't know the exact equation, but essentially because, overly generous will give extra radiation damage every time you hit something with an attack. And then with an automatic melee weapon, it's going, it's like a constant attack, like a chainsaw. Yeah. So you're giving these extra rads in a nonstop fashion, and they're just melting.
And these bad guys don't have a radiation resistance or anything.
They seem to not. Or something went wrong and they have a negative radiation resistance. I don't know. But yeah, so our friend Lawrence, obviously you guys have met Lawrence. You've had him on the show before. He's been, he likes to run nukes regularly. So like a few of us jumped in with him and he would launch and you could, do 3 nukes, 3 events in like 20, 25 minutes, then hop to another server because, 5 minutes to launch the nuke and then 3 minutes for the event. And 2 of those 3 minutes were waiting for it to start. I mean, I almost felt bad, but it wasn't just, it's such a known thing at this point. It wasn't just the crew I was with who had them. Like, you'd show up to the event, there'd be 15 people there, and half of them would have auto access. So yeah, they're going down fast.
The word spread.
Mm-hmm. The word has definitely spread.
Yeah.
People know at this point. But there are a lot of new plans and things you get from this event, so worth doing.
Can launch a nuke in 5 minutes?
Yeah, if people go through and they take the shortcut, glitching through the door, people can do a nuke in 5 minutes. I mean, I think most people still take at least 7 or 8, even if they do that. But some people are quick.
It'd take me 2 hours still.
Yeah. I've never launched a nuke faster than 20 minutes, and I've only done a handful of nukes. Like, I was telling people, I think it's been at least 2.5 years since I last launched a nuke.
Have you done one by yourself? Totally alone? I think I attempted, I even put on power armor with troubleshooters, everything, and did the best I could to build up, the best robot stuff, and I still couldn't just do it by myself. I don't know.
Well, there was that period of time there where robots were super boosted with damage too. So
right.
you definitely couldn't do it for that year. It was much harder that year unless you were prepared for it. But yeah, you get less robots when there's only one of you. So if you're not, on a team with people, there's only one person in the silo. They're not that bad. Stealth is the easiest way to do it. It's very much more a stealth kind of location. Because if you're just out there blasting everything and they just keep coming, and if you can hack them or take them out quickly, especially the Assaultrons. Because Assaultron Dominators, they're no joke. They hurt.
They have blenders on their hands. Ouch.
It's like, they're not as bad in 76 as they are in Fallout 4. Fallout 4, it's, death on wheels. And invisible, too. Like, in Far Harbor, oh my goodness gracious. Yeah. But they're still dangerous. Anyway, so doing those quick events, that was good XP too. So that helped with the boost up. It's a great way to go. So if you see it popping, I would right now, you see that event show up, fast travel down to it quick because it's not going to last long. Much quicker than even the quick queens go.
Wow. Did you say you finished all of the new material they added down south?
I haven't.
There?
No, I haven't finished the whole quest line. I'm only halfway through it still. So the last 2-3 weeks I keep meaning to, but I've got in and I just did the scoreboard and photos and events and camps. So that's the other thing I did. I did a lot more decorating on my new castle camp, set up a vendor and a little park area and a number of things. I think I mentioned I submitted a camp to the Bethesda competition last month for fishing.
All right.
They they liked my little raft, so that was great. They actually shared that on socials earlier this week.
Great.
Yeah, little fishing plushies. That was fun. I'm glad people liked it.
Oh, I'll have
It's,
to go look it up.
Underneath the raft, yeah, I shared a few pictures in Discord, but underneath the raft, so I made it float on all the tires we got, the red and the black tires. But I also put a couple of bathtubs under there, and I felt like the bubbler, so there was like water kind of coming out from the side of the raft. And I figure a bathtub is a good flotation device in the river, right?
I don't know. Does ceramic and lead float?
Well, I figure you got to plug up the plug, but I think it would work. I think it would work if you got a good seal. It was you asked actually you asked when I mentioned it before if it was more of a Huckleberry Finn or a Tom Sawyer raft.
Oh yeah, right.
But it's a little bit more luxury than that. So
That's great.
good times.
A little more Jamaican bobsled than anything.
Lot of just playing with the camps in my spare time. So I haven't finished the story. Halfway through, I've got to do that. I did the Ares quest on another character. We mentioned those when they came out. I don't think you ever did the Ares quest line either, right? The Blue Ridge Caravan. It was added. If you remember, I mentioned you have to do one a day, and there's a series of 7 or 8 quests. It was added a little over a year ago.
Ooh, sounds
But it's
vaguely
like-
familiar. I don't know if I did that or not. Sorry.
Yeah, I think you probably did a couple. Like it just says talk to Vinny. And so you talk to Vinny each day, and he's like, go talk to this member of my Blue Ridge Caravan team. They're not pulling their weight. Like that's not a good Vinny, but that's my Vinny. Anyway, he sends you to talk to one of his employees to, get him back on track. And Vinny being a bit of a mob boss, I think he wants, to threaten to whack their knees, but you can actually do it, in a better way. And you essentially learn more about each of these different Blue Ridge Caravan members. And as you go through, the final one is dealing with Ares, and that's a slightly more involved quest. And we talked about it last year when it came out. But I did that again on another character over the last little bit. And yeah, there's some good Fallout lore with the Blue Ridge Caravan. But that's pretty much my gameplay. A whole lot of little games and then a whole lot of 76.
All right, good times. My gameplay has been few and far between. I have been playing a little bit of Zelda Ocarina of Time on my Nintendo 3DS.
Oh, that's so cool. You doing that on the 3DS?
Yeah, I got a copy of that. I don't know. I got it a bunch of months ago, and I was super excited to start, but I just never have gathered energy to start it. But I've been playing that for a little bit. I've done the first few big start levels, the big Deku tree right there in the forest. I've done that part of and run around a little bit to the castle and back and forth, and met the horse up at the ranch, and gotten my first fairy bottle and stuff like that. But I'm about to go up the mountain to meet the Gorons and do the whole lava stuff. So I'm still very, very early on in the game, just a couple hours in, so.
But it's a great Zelda. A lot of people's favorite.
Oh yeah, it's a classic for sure. A lot of people, but also Zelda has the purists, just like Fallout does. Like how Fallout's like, only Fallout 1 and 2 are the real Fallout games. Zelda has that same sort of crowd.
Yeah.
that When they go
You've got the
when they go
Ocarina crew.
Yeah, when they go 3D, that's when they lose me.
Right. No, there are people who they only like the classic style, Link to the Past and original.
Yeah.
There are people who only like the Ocarina, all the 3D stuff. And then there are the Breath of the Wild people, unlike the new ones.
Yeah, and I'm still only halfway through the Breath of the Wild, so I need to finish that, and there's yet another new Zelda game after that one to play. I've fallen off the Zelda train somehow, which is totally... If you would have told me that 10, 15 years ago, I'd have said, you're crazy. I play Wind Waker once a year, motherfucker. No, I haven't played it in years now.
Fallout took over, and Shelter.
Yeah, Shelter. Shelter pushed everything right out the nest. It's one of those ornery little birdies.
You can only fit 200. What else are you going to do? And, Mario Kart in between as well.
Yeah, it's been a dry spell for Mario Kart, too. I guess when Mo finally goes through another Mario Kart phase, it's like he's been on... he was on Smash Bros. A couple weeks ago, but he's already off of that. So Let's see, what have I been doing? Ocarina, Shelter. I don't know what happened. I loaded it the other day. Hadn't played in a while. Something happened. I'm down to 170 dwellers, like 30 people up and left. Well, because I didn't tend to something for a little while.
You probably sent them out in the wasteland without, if I remember correctly, you're telling stories about sending them out and letting them die.
Yeah, but that was to I had already replenished since then, so this is yet another purge that I didn't have anything to do with this one. So I don't know what's happening.
Have you got any of the TV show characters there?
Oh, yeah, actually, that's funny, because they're not on the console version.
Right.
But when I was on the road, I played on my phone a couple of times, and one of the quests, I brought Chet home. I'm like, oh, Lord.
You brought Chet home, huh?
Chet was the reward for the quest.
So,
you rescue Chet to bring
great.
him back to your vault. I'm like, why is Chet in the wasteland? What the fuck is going on here?
He's been through so much, Andrew. Better not to ask.
And Lucy was one of the rewards, and I don't know if I just didn't log in at the right time to get the ghoul, or if that's going to be a different quest line reward at some point, and then I assume Max will show up at some point. But I don't know if those were timed with the release of the show, or you know what I mean. If you had to hit that certain time window, like they do with the holiday themed outfits and such, or if that's going to be something I can do whenever. I don't really play on the phone that often, so.
No, but now that you've been traveling, it makes sense you need your shelter fix. Clint mentions he's been sending Chet out to scavenge. So yeah, Chet's a scavenger for him.
Oh, what's he good for? You should put him at the fucking door.
Yes, he belongs at the door as the gatekeeper for sure.
He's the worst
Also,
gatekeeper.
What pet would you give him? Probably a cat.
Yeah, totally. I don't know. Is there a bird that makes you extra scared or something? A bird that makes you want to fuck your cousin.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know. No cousin stuff, Jess.
Well, I feel like that's why he'd have a cat, because he likes the difficult women. Like he's with Steph now, and the cat would boss him around too.
Dare you? You think Steph is difficult just because she's a firm-minded woman? Jess,
no,
I am tired of
love
this
her.
anti-feminist sentiment that you're bringing to the show. I can't tolerate it any longer.
I apologize to my sisters. No, it's I love Steph, as a character, but she's very bossy with him. I'm not saying she is in general, but with Chet,
if she
comes
was
in
a
and
man, would you call her bossy, or would you just say that
she dominated.
is assertive? Come
with
on.
Chet, yes. With Chet, I would actually.
Oh goodness.
She's very Vault 31.
Yeah,
She's so
she
31.
is. She is very much in charge. I'm just saying, in this relationship that she has decided they are going to have, she is very much in charge.
No, Chet. I said we are dating now. Okay. And the other thing that I wanted to chat about, it's not really gameplay. It's just on the side we've been chatting about ghoulism a little bit from the TV show, and I was just kind of curious if it's like an acute thing or a chronic thing, meaning like it has to be introduced to you, like, and the scene specifically we're talking about in the show was where what's the guy with the dangly foot from the BOS? Thaddeus went to the snake oil salesman and got a foot serum, and the doctor made a sort of offhanded side comment, like something about ghoulism. Well, you don't have to worry about that now, and I was just kind of like, oh, it's just because he's out in the wasteland, and it's like everyone who's out in the wasteland gets the ghoulism. But then, like, after our conversation, we're like, oh no, it's clearly that the doctor he knew that it was going to turn him into the ghoul. We talked about on Vault Talk. It wasn't that the serum heals it; it's that the serum turns him into a ghoul, and the ghoulism heals the foot
with advanced healing. Yeah. As far as we know.
So the DJ, for instance, just being out in the wasteland, is he going to be a ghoul eventually?
No, of course
people,
not.
People just die of old age too, right? So yeah.
Yeah, the majority of people, right?
But where are they getting their purified water and stuff? What are they doing, man? How are they avoiding all this?
Well, keep in mind that a lot of people succumb to radiation sickness differently. So there are people out there who die of radiation sickness.
Without
you
becoming a ghoul. Okay. Right.
Think about the beggars who need water, purified water. They can't have any more radiated water because they're just, they're sicking on the edge from radiation. A lot of people will die of radiation without ever having the gene or genetic reason that makes them ghoulified. Just like the children of Adam, who many of them seem to have a genetic perk that allows them to heal from radiation, but not as a ghoul.
Right.
It's like the ghoulish perk as we get in the game. It's a strange thing. And we talked about it on Vault Talks. I won't go back into it too deep, but we don't even know for sure that he's a ghoul. That's just what they said. It could be something else with healing.
Yep.
It's hard to say.
Hard to say. Anyway, I was just thinking about that more and more. Anyway,
Clint
so that's sorry, go ahead, Clint.
Clint had the best idea. He's going to put Lucy and Chet in a room in Fallout Shelter and see what happens.
Chet will cry in the corner.
Oh.
Lucy will reject him. She will say, "There's nothing like hanging out with family."
Exactly, as she should.
Except for I think they only have family as brother and sister. I think cousins can still get nasty and
cousins
Shelter.
are probably fine in Shelter. There is a precedent for this.
Yes, I believe so. I believe that wraps up my gameplay. Jess,
I realized that I kind of buried the headline on Dark Star Manufacturing.
What is that?
Okay.
Yeah.
So that mod actually turned Starfield into a Bethesda game.
Meaning?
Ooh.
All of the duct tape and screwdrivers and wrenches.
They do something?
And all the junk are now used in upgrading
And crafting and stuff. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. Bringing that in
Good,
is
good,
very
good.
cool.
When I saw that, I was just beside myself. So
Yeah, because crafting requires a few items, but it's so specific. Like just, you need this and this as a recipe when you're at the research table. So that is cool.
yeah. So it also gives you the ability to craft them just in case you don't, find the specific thing you need in the, in your travels. But yep. So now I go around picking up everything.
That's nice. When I first started playing Starfield, that was one of the big drawback things I noticed. Like, why would they step that backward? Like, it had been progressive in each game. Like, the junk becomes more and more useful, and then all of a sudden, in 4 and 76, it's just like everything does something. You pick up everything because it's useful somehow.
Yep.
And it was just weird in Starfield that they stepped that back so far.
Yeah, especially with having so much of it around.
It's so much junk that you could pick up. I was just like, wow,
And-
this is
and
great. I'm
such a
going to
huge
build
variety.
everything.
Yeah, because there's like 6 different kinds of pliers, and you've so many different, there are different kinds of hammers and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, so that was huge.
You think Starfield's replayable as Skyrim and Fallout?
I mean, it is for somebody like me.
Without
I
a
don't
doubt.
know if the average person, would, find that, that same level of interest.
Yeah, honestly, I think it can get there. And I think, for people like Ray and some of us, it already is there for sure. If you just, create new characters and try different things in the sandbox. I think for other people, it will get there as we get more and more creations and mods, and as we get more content in the game that makes it feel more connected. There's a reason why people rejected it, because of it just felt disconnected, and all the loading screens. They didn't really understand all the new systems with the fast travel, and but I think added content will smooth that over for people a lot.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right.
Speaking of
Yes.
creations, we had mentioned how many of them that there were, I think a couple weeks ago. And we were like, oh, in the first month, there's already 600. At this point, we are at 1,200. If you go to the Bethesda.net website, and of course there are more in Nexus, but the official ones made through the Creation Kit now are ported, 1,206 creations. So it's growing.
That's doubled.
Yeah, it's doubled in just like 2 or 3 weeks.
Good on you.
So you tried to segue a couple times now, Andrew. We keep interrupting you.
What's your
I'm
patrons
sorry
thing?
about that. So I just wanted to give a shout out to some of our gorgeous and amazing patrons. Every couple times a year, I make sure and shout y'all out. Many of you have been with us for years now. A lot of you at the Dova level, it just only we ask is just $1, a contribution of $1. Chip it in, help kind of pay for the servers, pay for the account, because we have, if you haven't noticed, Fallout has a lot of content. If the larger the show, the more some places charge. So yeah, there's a lot of content, and of course, keeping the website name and all that. So we really appreciate you, and we've got a lot of you. And I want to take a moment to shout out all of you lovely people who have been with us for, years or months, whatever it may be. Newest patron, I think. We have a Paladin Ezra. So shout out to Paladin Ezra.
Nice.
We have Sulior, our friend Don McCormick, Mocha, Clint, Matt Crenshaw, John Lobanowski, Stephen Hambrick, Craig Majors, Pantagrulia, Kenny Smyson, Mikey, Colleen Glatfelter, Stephen Carlson, Ray Butcher, Mikey P, Kevin F, Bob Carroll, Mark N, Dale, VN Brazil, that's Victor, Kyle Burns, Soph Miller, Frater Novak, Eddie Muller, Will Byers, Jessica Starr, Michelle Lamontagne, Lee Benjamin, and Pat Lusk, Leon, Steve Pacey, Ron Solo, Rob Smith, Ben, Nathan Mackey. Thank you all for joining our Patreon, being a patron. We appreciate it. Whatever level you're at, always appreciate it. There's even a free member level now, people who want to follow. So if you want to give us a follow, just if we ever do post things on Patreon, which isn't super frequent for us, and that's one of the things. It has more to do with kind of keeping the shows going, keeping things running for us, as opposed to patron rewards. And for those of you who are like, yeah, that content's worth it and contribute, it really makes a difference. We appreciate it. I know Michael really appreciates it. So thank you very much. I just wanted to shout you all out. The other day I did a bunch of shout outs and I'm like, let's shout out to the people who need shouted out.
Absolutely. We appreciate it so much. Thank you, everyone. All right. So let's get it on with a little bit of game time. What time is it? Game time! And this week on Game Time, you guys, I want to talk about utilities. There's all these telephones in the wasteland. We see these places of business. First of all, there are power plants. It's just a lot of these businesses have, I guess it would be backup generators. All those things in the basement we're stealing the power core, the fusion cores from. They'd probably be on the big grid, right? Just wondering, because for a second there I thought, wait a second, all these businesses they're not connected. They just have their own power source, but there's still probably a power grid, I would imagine. Any of that still working? All the power in these buildings, are those just from the backup generators that have fusion cores in them?
Well, there must be, because you can take the fusion cores out and the place doesn't go dark.
Should it? Or is that just programmers not thinking of it? How about can you pick up a phone, make a call?
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, some infrastructure is obviously still standing. The majority of things are local, like you're saying, like fusion generators within a specific building, or maybe a group of buildings, like like say the old Galleria Mall area, where there are multiple things connected to a generator. Um, Obviously, in the Fallout TV show, when you get to the ending there's a big old thing where way more is still in the grid than you'd expect that they get kind of hooked in, and that's a little bit excessive. I don't think the grid would be standing that much, but I imagine there's still somewhat grid out there.
The grid that stops at the gates of that town.
Yeah, and the switchboards are still there, but the operators are all dead.
They're not robot operated. So what I want to do on Game Time tonight is put out a few phone calls. In celebration of Fallout Shelter adding a few characters from our new TV show, some of our good new friends. I have prepared a game in celebration of Fallout Shelter, including those characters. So, we have a few telephone numbers here. Who will pick up on the other end of the line when the following phone numbers are dialed in the Prime Wasteland? Get out your pens and pencils, kids. Jot them down at home. There will be 3 telephone numbers here. Jess and Ray, you're not competing against each other. Feel free to work together. Use all of your ideas and think it out. But you have to figure out, write down these 3 numbers, and you have to figure out who would pick up the phone if all the phones worked. If you dial this number in the Amazon Prime Wasteland. Okay? Your first number is 567-7474. 567-7474. Your next number is 766-5475. 766-5475. And your last telephone number is 476-5657. 476-5657. And for all of you international people out there, the standard American telephone structure is a 3-digit code and a dash and then 4 digits. That's your local telephone. Sometimes there's an area code before that too. But let's go ahead and roll into it. Jess and Ray, please discuss out loud. Talk about it. Talk it out. Let's see what you guys can come up with. Who is going to pick up the phone when each of those numbers is dialed?
Okay. I'm really not getting it. So do these decode into something?
The numbers are 7, and they do associate with categories. We start each Fallout game assigning values to 7 different categories. The big clue here is these are their specials. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, that part makes sense, and these are people from the TV show?
These are our new buddies from the TV show, our new, the big 3 there. The Ghoul,
So I'm
Goosey,
gonna go
and Max.
The first one is Lucy. The second is the Ghoul. And, well, maybe not. So is Maximus in power armor?
I haven't actually gotten them yet, so I can't tell you or not.
So the numbers are their specials.
The first one is 567 7474. Then there's 476 5657
Got it?
and 766 5475.
Oh, just those three?
Yeah, you call those
Yeah,
phone
so
numbers. Who's picking up the line?
Yeah. So Lucy, the Ghoul, or Max.
Clint is doing experiments in his vault. Not only did Chet and Lucy hook up, but now the Ghoul and Ma June are getting it on.
That's amazing.
That's special. Okay, well, he took out her leg and then that happened. So,
All right. So the 5677474. That's got to be Lucy because she's the only one that would have a charisma of 7.
You would think so. Although the Ghoul is pretty charismatic. But that would mean if 4 is strength, that would mean that. Do you think the Ghoul or Max has lower strength? Yeah, maybe. Okay. Yeah, 567 could be Lucy. It's 6 perception, 7 endurance for Lucy.
Yeah. Well,
4 luck. I feel like maybe she's luckier. I feel like Lucy might be the 476. But I know that would only give her a charisma of 5.
yeah.
But you can see Cooper Howard, the Ghoul, having a pretty high charisma, especially as Cooper.
Yeah, that's why I asked if Max was in power armor because that would push him up to the higher strength.
Yeah, 7. I think even naturally he'd have more strength than the other 2, right?
I don't know. The Ghoul's pretty strong.
I don't know if he is naturally as strong, but maybe. So you're thinking Lucy, Max, Ghoul, with the Ghoul having the 7 strength?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I would think Ghoul, Lucy, Max. So I don't know if we're gonna come to an agreement here, Andrew.
All right. Well,
We can put in our guesses for each one.
all right. Let's get your final answers here. So, Jess, you're thinking that the 567 7474 is
The Ghoul.
okay, and Ray, you think that one is
I think that one is Max. No,
Oh.
Lucy.
Lucy, yeah.
okay.
It does make sense with the charisma. You're right. I don't know. Ghoul's high charisma too. We'll see.
And you think the 766 5475, Jess?
So I think that's Max.
Okay. And Ray, you think that one is?
The Ghoul.
Okay. And the 476 5657, Jess, you think?
Lucy.
It's Goosey, please.
Right, Goosey.
And Ray, you think that one would be
Max. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that worked out well. Good job. Jess, you nailed them all.
Okay, cool.
Good job. So yeah, I
So
found
that
it
means I
interesting.
didn't get any of them right.
Yeah.
Ipso facto.
It's kind of
But
interesting.
your logic made sense, Ray.
It did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just found it interesting when I was looking at the special stats that they assigned to these guys. Because you mentioned the charisma of Lucy. She would have to be more than a 5. Now, I do see how the Ghoul, especially as pre-war Cooper
Howard,
as Cooper
yeah,
Howard, an
movie
actor,
star.
yeah, he's a salesman, he's got charisma galore. But their intelligence being so low, that's crazy. Both Max, I could see his intelligence being a 2. You know what I mean? And not that he's stupid, he's just inexperienced. You know what I mean? He doesn't know the world that used to be. And that's not his fault. That's just the world he lives in now.
He's not especially learned, you're saying.
Yeah. But Lucy has an intelligence of 6. I mean, she's a goddamn teacher, right?
It's
And
funny
historian.
because we think of those as, with the high numbers being common. But if you think of actually 5 being average, I mean, I think it's reasonable to say that if Lucy has a 6 intelligence, that means she's slightly above average intelligence. So that would be a good thing.
Yeah. No, okay, that makes sense.
And especially in Fallout 4, where at first, when you first create your character, it's a little bit stingy with what you can give characters. Like if they were working with that, they can only go so high max. You know what I mean? So no one's going to have much above a 7 unless they're really sacrificing elsewhere.
Right. Strength of 4 on Lucy makes sense to you guys. Let's see, perception is 7. You think Lucy's, especially aware of her surroundings? I think she's a little too trusting. I don't know if trusting has anything to do with perception, though. You know what I mean? That'd be more in the charisma.
Yeah,
aspect
perception
of it.
seems to have more to do with actual, visual acuity.
Yeah,
And
being
such,
aware
but-
of your surroundings, you're right, by visual cue.
Yeah, but it might be more to
hearing,
that. I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah. I don't know. I just thought it was cool to look at the numbers, so I was trying to force a game out of the out of the little numbers there. So hopefully that wasn't a horrible waste of time. And thank you guys for this week's edition of
Shelter.
Oh, such a good time. All right, let's continue on, shall we? Iguana bits seem to be the next on the menu.
Jessica, to the office, please. Jessica, to the office. Your iguana bits are ready. Please come pick them up. Why, thank you, Jess. So I lost a few tabs when I rebooted there in the middle of the show, but I still have my notes. So first off, hear ye, there are increased odds on Fallout Shelter lunchboxes this weekend.
What?
Breaking news coming to us from Clint. If you're playing Fallout Shelter this weekend and open lunchboxes, increased odds of TV show prizes. So, give them a go.
No way. Awesome. Well, it's got to be mobile only, though.
Yeah, it will be. So you're going to have to pull out that phone again, Andrew. I'm sorry.
Arrgh, so my life is so difficult playing a video game.
Also, friend of the show, Jonah Loeb. I wanted to mention that he has launched a Kickstarter. I know you love when I call him friend of the show.
No, I saw that post, though. That's awesome.
Yeah, he's launched a Kickstarter for his new graphic novel series he's working on called Quiet. And the first book that he's kickstarting is Quiet Level 1. He's building a whole world with it. It looks like a really cool graphic novel. Been doing a lot of art and story for it. It should actually be coming out in about a year. But I wanted to mention it because the Kickstarter did open earlier this week. And while it's for a graphic novel, one of the reasons it's named Quiet Level 1 is because he's hoping to make a whole series from it. You know what I mean? Continuing story. So if it does well, which so far it's been very funded, which is awesome. Keep an eye out. He's adding all kinds of things to it. If it does well, hopefully he'll have Quiet Level something higher. So yeah.
No, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Does he also write, or does he have a staff of writers doing story?
No, he's doing the art and writing and everything for this. It's a big personal
Good for him.
project. Mm-hmm. He has been working on it for a while, and it looks awesome. So I figured I would mention that. If anyone interested, look it up. It's just called Quiet Level 1. It should be about a year before it actually comes out, but the Kickstarter is there if people want to pre-order. Bethesda launched a sleepaway camp contest. So, they do the monthly themes I mentioned occasionally. Like I just said, I did one for fishing last month. And they do that every month. This month is barbecue. People are interested. But they are doing a bigger camp contest, the sleepaway camp contest. And that's one of the tabs that I lost. But I believe it's open for the entire month. Let me pull up the dates again real quick. 1 second. Okay. So you have a chance to win up to 20,000 atoms. Submit a camp between July 10th and July 26th, either a camp or a shelter, following the summer sleepaway camp theme. So Pioneer Scouts, any kind of summer camp. There are going to be 3 categories. Best Summer Sleepaway Camp, Most Creative Summerway Sleepaway Camp, in which case more than just like the camp itself, like adding extra stuff to it, and Abstract Summer Sleepaway Camp for people like you do things like I do, where you tend to do things a little unusual. So there are 3 different categories there. You have to submit them again on the Discord. They have a special channel for it, but it's well worth joining the Discord for. There are going to be 15 semifinalists. Everybody gets 5,000 atoms each for them. And the 3 winners, the winner in each category, is going to get 20,000 atoms. That is the biggest prize I've ever seen them give to in a single prize.
That's beefy.
Yeah, that'll get you set for, a year. A year worth of atoms almost. I mean, that's pretty great. So there you go. It is only open to citizens of the US and Canada. I apologize to our international listeners besides Canada and the US. They do have a post on their website, fallout.bethesda.net, with the rules. And of course, if you go into the Discord, there are also a copy of the rules there. I'm checking to see if it is possible to submit elsewhere. I don't think it is. So you do have to, once again, use Discord, load it up, share pictures or a 30-second video, and you have 2 weeks to do it until July 26th. So well worth it. If you have questions on it and you're like, Jess, I don't know where to go to find this, feel free and ping me on Discord or on Twitter, whatever. I'm happy to help with this. I love seeing people get into these contests. Bethesda is really trying to push camp building, and goodness knows I support that. So, if you're working on a camp and you want to submit it, you don't know how, you need help, give me a ping. Totally don't mind. So yeah, that is exciting. The big news right now, big and a little unexpected, is that the PTS has reopened. The public test server, not whatever you said at the beginning of the show, Andrew.
That was the Prime Wasteland telephone switchboard. There you go.
Oh, perfect. Right, which was the name of the game we played. So good. So we knew that they have announced what the next major update is going to be, which is called Milepost Zero, coming out this fall. The PTS is testing things for that, but there's more to it than expected as well. So I just wanted to go over a couple of those. First of all, as part of Milepost Zero, it has been stated that you'll be able to start your own caravan company. Bump in the Road Caravan Company. Essentially, they're letting people start their own. I assume it's going to be connected to the everyone getting their own hideout, their own, like a camp, but a special area you'll be able to have where your caravan company is based, and you get different vendors and special vendors and such. Sounds neat. That's on the PTS. They are also testing Mischief Night. Those who thought maybe Mischief Night coming back was a rumor, no, it's actually being tested right now. The new event is at Rapidan Camp, which if you've been there in the new area down in Skyline Valley, Halloween decorated camp area, very cool. So that's on rotation and they are testing it out. Make sure it's ready to go for the public event when it comes out in October. Something we didn't know was going to happen that's on the public test server, legendary crafting. So for a long time, they've talked about looking at different ways of doing legendary weapons. And, we got our modules and our cores and all that now. And now we can at least re-roll them, but you couldn't re-roll specific legendaries. They are looking at a system to let you choose and re-roll specific legendary attributes. If you've got 3 on a weapon and you just want to re-roll 1, they're looking at a system to do that finally. Yeah. Now, the best part of...
Why did it fucking take so long? This is something we demanded 3-4 years ago.
I know. And I think the system is actually a bit connected to the way when they were briefly testing 4-star weapons. Remember when they're trying to do 4 stars and then it never happened?
There's fucking 5 slots.
Yeah. And some of them get automatically, like Fixers get, the automatic boost, and a few other weapons have like an innate bump there. That's why there's extra. But yeah, so they are testing it now, and what's fantastic is you're going to get another currency with this. Legendary particles. So you get your cores, your modules, your particles. I know. But you don't necessarily need to think about it. It's one of those currencies, again, where you only need to think about it when you're doing the thing. Don't think about it when you're not doing the thing. Of course, people forget about them nowadays. People forget that they have like 100 stamps or 200, claim token tickets.
I'm still constantly out of either modules or chords. I don't remember which one, but I always like, fuck. I can't
You have to remember to
spend all
trade
my...
that script in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I maxed out. I was at max caps and max bullion a couple weeks ago. I looked and I'm like, how did I hit max caps again? I'm here selling stuff and not even making any money. And then, and I was at max bullion. So last time I claimed gold on the scoreboard, I didn't get anything for it.
So, what do you go cash in your bullion for? Like, do you just buy power armor paints that you don't need?
I'm still, I didn't go too hard on that. So there's still things for Vault 79 or the various vendors I didn't have. I hit up Samuel, like one of the things he sold I didn't have, maybe 2 or 3 even. I bought a couple of those. So I'm back to a reasonable level of bullion now. But
Yeah.
until they add more in that system, I don't really need it. And of course, we can get stuff on discount from Minerva now. So if you go to Minerva, it's cheaper. So
I'm just out of stuff that I need to buy from them until I start buying things that I don't ever use, like power armor paints or blah, blah, blah,
right. So
Or
for those
not
who had,
paints, but you know what I mean? Like the overgrown power, blah, blah, that stuff. And Sam, he's the guy down at... I haven't played 76 in so long that I don't remember what any places are called anymore. The Settlers, right? Where the settlers are settled.
Foundation. Yeah.
He's there, right? He's the gold vendor there.
yeah, that's Samuel down there.
Yeah. Is his inventory different than the one up north?
Yeah, they each have
Is,
their
okay.
own.
I thought so. It's like I don't think Sam has anything that I check in. I'll get lunch boxes now from him. You know what I mean? Like I've depleted his inventory almost completely. But yeah,
that's the easy way to do it.
you've got all your gold. What's that? Didn't we used to? I don't even remember why. What was the currency we did with the guy wearing all the way too patriotic stuff in the bar?
So that's gold bullion. So remember, you're changing in your I'm suddenly forgetting what they're called. But you give him
stuff, and he gives you
Yes.
other stuff.
right. You give him the notes, the bullion notes, and you get gold back.
God.
Yeah, that's just how you trade it.
treasury notes.
Treasury notes.
Oh,
Thank
there
you.
you go.
Ray doesn't even play anymore, and he remembers. I'm just like, it's the system. I do it regularly. I'm on max. So, yeah, I mean, when you've played as long as we have, it all kind of, it's just a system. You don't usually think about names as much anymore. But also,
your brain melts.
exactly. But also, we bought everything we want from these vendors, so I've got pretty much everything from 79. Now, I'm not like Alex, who had gotten actually literally every single
Literally
plan
everything.
and mod and stuff from all these people, so there are still things to buy, but I got everything I wanted. So that's what counts.
That's what's most important.
Yep, and you should be able to go into there's the gold machine and crater, and you should be able to get stuff
Yep.
in there.
Yep.
And if I hit Minerva up more than anyone else anyway. Like when I think of it, if I see her,
Yeah, she has the
that's really what
sales.
reminds me. Because better prices, and she's got a little bit of everything on a rotating basis, so easy to check with her.
Ray, what was the last thing that dragged you into 76?
Us.
Yeah, the episode we did at
Did we
Atlantic City.
streamed something? Oh, right, Atlantic City.
Yeah.
Well, shoot, let's stream the new material, something with the new content down south. That'll be fun.
Yeah,
we should
and
do
before
soon.
that, it was
The pit.
I don't even remember.
Did we stream the pit too?
Previous expedition. Like, did you really go in between the pit and Atlantic
Yeah,
City?
I think I was still playing on PC at that point.
Mhm.
I just hadn't done that. I hadn't done any of the expeditions.
Did the Nuka World stuff draw you in, maybe?
No. What was the last thing I did was I got the special auto axe.
Yep. That was part of the season with the pit.
What's special about it?
I don't remember.
Extra bleeding damage or something?
I just remember I had started a new character and was doing the auto axe,
Mhm.
and there was some special auto axe that came out, and I got that, and that was about the end of it.
Yeah, might have even been just a skin for it, or like the mod that you could get for it. But been a while.
Yeah.
So anyway, back to the actual topic, though, the legendary crafting. You'll be able to do more with it. It's being tested now. It's way too complicated to talk through the whole thing, but hopefully that comes to be, and there will now be a way to refine your legendary items and not just completely reroll them. Another thing they're testing that we didn't know about until this is best builds. This is a fun thing for camp builders. If you have a camp that you kind of consider a permanent fixture in the wasteland, something you put a lot of time in on, and you think, it's a best build, you can submit your camp for consideration. And what Bethesda is going to do is create a database of camps and make them public locations. Wait, really? Your camp could be part of other people's world when you're not there? Yes. I think it's only going to be one per person, currently in testing, so there's still things to be determined. But they're going to load a random selection from their database of best builds into every world. So once this is live, there'll be the camps of players playing, and then there are going to be a few best build locations, and they'll rotate them out. Like, it's not going to be always like, oh, this one is now part of the map. It's going to be a mix, but a way for people to see best builds without having to be on the server with the person. So say, some of these like Japanese builders who have done like these amazing pagodas. I'm never on a server with them, but if one is submitted as a best build, then it could possibly load in and you come across it. But not only will there be some of these loading in, there will also be a bit of a, what do I want to call it? Like a guest book. And if you like it, you can vote it up and say, hey, I really liked your build. And as some of these best builds get more votes as people really enjoying them, they're more likely to spawn on servers. So something they're testing out to kind of make it, because people have often said, I would really enjoy it if some of what we create in the wasteland was a little bit more permanent. Not that it was only there when I was logged in and playing. We like the idea of kind of growing the wasteland. So there's a way of doing it and kind of showing stuff you might not see from people who play other times a day, other systems even, because, you might see some best builds from people who build on PC. If they're part of the database, it could load in on a PlayStation or Xbox. So just cross-pollinating a bit.
That's so weird. Kind of interesting, though.
Yeah, because one of the some people really enjoy is coming across that camp in the dark. Like oh, what is this place? Discovering it. Is this part of the map? Is it not? And you realize somebody's camp, and so they'll be identified on the map with a little blue ribbon, as opposed to the regular camp icon. It'll have a blue ribbon icon. And so again, you just sit down, relax, enjoy the camp, something different, and move on. And they're going to rotate them every hour or two is the plan. They are doing some major combat rebalancing as well. Oh, Lee mentions it'll help when you're on a basically empty server. And yeah, that makes sense. It would help on a mostly empty server too. Which, to tell you how much I've been playing, I have not shut down a server in so long, but I shut down a server twice in the last couple weeks. Which, I'm still not playing that much, but it was nice to be doing that again. I missed that old tick, tick, tick.
I mean, that's like closing down the bar when we were in our 20s, right? Mm-hmm. Closing down the server.
Yeah, and fun to have that again. I mean, basically, like, I just want to place one more bush. I want to place one more plant when I'm building. That's what I was doing. Doing a lot of combat rebalancing. Once again, way too much to get into, but they are changing adjustments for a lot of the creatures in the game and a lot of the weapons. They started a bit with the last update here, with the launch of Skyline Valley, and they're doing a lot more. They're changing. One of the big things is they're changing the way fire damage and poison damage over time works. It will also affect how legendaries, like vampires, legendary would work and stuff like that. So, just something to mention. And finally, this is something we just announced 2 days ago. They are going to do vendor history. So when you sell things in your vendor, And, the messages pop up in the corner you may or may not see. You only know that it's sold. You were busy doing a daily op or something. You didn't see the note. But now there's not stuff in your vendor. So there will actually be a vendor history log. So it'll let you know what items are selling like hotcakes whenever you put them in. And, how quickly they sold and what price they sold at, which in case you forgot what you listed something at. And it'll all be logged for you so you can go over your history.
That was one of my main complaints way back. It was like, why is there not a quest log where you can scroll back through all of the announcements that were made in the top left-hand corner of your screen? I'm so glad they're putting that in again. Five years ago. Right.
Yeah, no, I hear you. We're coming up at 5.5 years of the game now. I mean, it'll be 6 this November, and there's still things that have been on the wish list since the beginning. So, really glad they're doing them. It is, for those who haven't played since Wastelanders, or even before Wastelanders, we've said they're a good time to start, but it's definitely, we're hitting brand new game territory in a lot of ways. Looking ahead at the calendar, for July, currently this weekend, we are doing Script Surplus and Double Mutations. Nobody's favorite. I don't think. If it's yours, well, enjoy. Weekend after, they are doing a Legendary Vendor Sale. Again, unless you're looking for Legendaries, not a big thing. But they're going to do Holiday Scorched in July, so you get your Jingle Scorched at the end of July. So expect to hear some jingling soon.
I love Jingle Scorched.
Jingle Scorched are great. They're just fun. That'll be July 23rd to August 6th. So we're going to get probably 2 weeks of Jingle Scorched in the middle of July.
Any new plans? Of course not.
Well, they've been pretty good about that with Meat Week having new plans, Fashnacht having new masks. So it's possible, but I would think probably not till Christmas. You know what I mean? During the surprise pop-up event, no, it'll probably just be what we already have, especially since this will be the first time new players have had the Jingle Scorched.
Still seeing a large influx, or have things tamed down?
Things have tamed, I think, a bit. I mentioned how it seemed like the numbers were still up, people sticking around. That's still the case, but, it's leveled out and kind of slowly dropping down closer to normal. But still, I think 2-3 times what the daily active was prior to the show coming out. So that's still quite high.
Which game saw more of a response, 4 or 76?
Fallout 4 saw the most response, but it seems like 76 saw the most longevity due to the nature of the game. Yeah. If you remember on the charts that month, the charts for April that we read in May.
The top game was like 3, New Vegas.
Yeah, Fallout 4 went
76.
Right. Fallout 4 went to number 4 on the bestseller list, like an 8-year-old game on number 4 bestseller for month of April. And 76 was either, I think, 7th or 8th. It was right up there. The numbers for May only just came out, and they both dropped, but both 4 and 76 were still noted. They're still up there in the bestseller list.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Good for our little franchise we like so much.
That is pretty much it for the Iguana bits. Calendar, there's a lot more stuff happening in August. We've got QuakeCon, we got more events and all that. But July is going to be a little bit calmer outside of the contest.
Calmer for you. We're having a party over here. All right. So thank you, Jess, for some iguana bits there. Just some shouts on our way out the door, right? They are scorecation related. Jess, what was your score level again?
Oh, I'm at 67.
67
now, I think.
Okay.
Yep, I'm a ways away. You're on scorecation, aren't you, Andrew?
As in, I still haven't started yet.
Oh, wait. I forgot you were doing that. You're out there playing Ocarina.
I literally
really
have not
joined.
started 76 at all. I'm wondering when the panic is gonna hit me, and I'm gonna be like, "What the fuck are you doing? Why aren't you playing this? Why?" And then I'm gonna just frantically try to do it in the last 2 weeks. You know what I mean?
Maybe you'll take the summer off. Maybe it won't hit you at all. I mean,
who knows?
there's nothing you need on this one. It's summer camp.
There's
We
even new fucking quests and areas and locations and content, and it's still not drawing me back in. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just don't care right now for some reason.
You needed a break. That's perfectly fine. Clint and Charlene are at 92 and 93. They're
Wow.
doing well.
You
A lot of people
guys,
up there. Yeah.
that's great.
I bet Eric's getting close. I bet he's probably 70s or 80s now. But Brenan and Andon has hit double Scorecation already. On PC and Xbox.
Good job.
Guess a second?
Scorecation!
I talked over the last one, and he needs 2 because it's double Scorecation anyway. Awesome. Oh,
Didn't you
Solar
say
hit
someone
92.
did 3? Did he? Who was it who did 3?
Yeah, my friend Brad, Once Upon a Wasteland, the writer of Once Upon a Wasteland, he has done PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. He finished all 3 just earlier this week.
Overachieve much?
He really does. He's always done at least 2, but doing all 3, oh my goodness.
Impressive. Good job. All right, you guys. Is that all we have for this week? Ray, do you have anything else you'd like to bring up?
No, I think probably the only thing of note is that an emoji has appeared from
Boy.
Hello Games.
So, what is it? First of all, what's the emoji?
It's the planet Earth.
Okay, let's think. Earth is a desolate wasteland in the version of the game now. What do you think they could be doing to the Earth at the
Well, so the speculation is that Light Snow Fire, which is their new game that is on an Earth-like planet, may be the reason for that emoji.
Because there is no release date on that yet, right?
No, I haven't seen anything announced.
So it has nothing to do with No Man's Sky.
May or may not.
What other
that's
games have they made? All I know is No Man's Sky. That wasn't their first game, was it?
No, but they've done indie games.
They've got a little camping game.
Yeah, which is actually funny because I think it's called like The Campfire or The Last Camp or something. The Last Campfire, maybe. I have that one.
Baker played it.
Yep. And they did Joe Danger, which is a very different game before No
Joe
Man's Sky. So they
Danger.
really took off.
Sounds like an 80s cartoon. That's great.
I think he was like a motorcycle stuntman danger
That
guy.
sounds pretty appropriate. The Evil
Yeah, they
Knievel it
started
up.
off
Hey, 70s.
These indie games and then No Man's Sky, like just whoosh, next scale.
So are they still
No.
considered indie?
Yeah,
Even with the
technically,
game-
I believe
game
they
that
are. I don't
scale?
think they're not owned by another company.
They haven't sold to anyone. So you think the Earth emoji? And sorry, remind me of the new game's title again.
Lights No Fires.
Lights, no fires. What is that a reference to?
No idea.
No idea. Okay.
Yeah, maybe just like the whole historical evolution kind of thing. You know,
Lights, no
started with fire, and
fires.
who knows?
But why would you not want to light a fire then?
Well, yeah, good question. We have no idea.
Oh. Intriguing. No, so in general, Ray, what is the time lapse between emoji post and thing happening?
Well, so most of the time when they launch anything new for No Man's Sky, it's on a Wednesday.
Does the emoji drop the week before?
It can be anything. I mean,
Really?
it was
Okay. There's no
um,
pattern to it.
yeah. On the last No Man's Sky update, it was like the night before. So
But I remember one time in particular, they posted one, and then it was just like months of you
Yeah, it was,
twiddling your thumbs, like, what the fuck is going on?
yeah, it's I think after that they realized that you know
Don't do that.
they had a greater responsibility to the human race than to make it a long stretch of speculation.
Yeah.
Because one of the I recognize that one of the things that game companies realize is that if people have too long to get excited about something, their expectations rise
Go through the roof.
so much higher than your game ever delivers.
Give them
Yeah.
too much time to imagine what it's going to be. Yeah.
Yeah,
Control
and
the hype.
So it's it can be a dangerous thing.
Yeah, it happens to a lot of games, right? Like the hype and expectation gets higher and higher and higher. And it can be hard to live up to that. I mean, unless you're very clear about what things are going to be. But a lot of companies like the hype, right? But Hello Games knows far more than most, don't they?
Jess, is that something you'll pick up day one or eventually, or are you interested in their games?
Oh, Light No Fire? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I will definitely try that too. It's an open world, survival crafting, like all the stuff that we like, but from Hello Games, it's going to be a much more complex kind of system. I really want to see. I wanted to like No Man's Sky more than I did, and that's on me. I should play more. I bet
You
if
have
I
no
took the
responsibility to
time,
like a game.
yeah, I bet if I took the time to play it more, I would love it as much as Baker
Yeah,
and
it's
Jen
got
and
a pretty
Ray.
big learning curve to it.
And that's kind of it. You have to delve in it and learn all the things. And it's the world he wants you to live in, just like a lot of the other games we play. So,
Oh, oops.
priorities. But I think
should
Light No
turn the
Fire is going to
volume
do
off.
that. The same thing people, why they talk about not getting into Starfield, but they like having one large world.
Whoa.
We're probably going to get that with
This is
with Light No
totally
Fire.
Skyrim on goddamn No Man's Sky. That's exactly what that looks like. That's hilarious.
In a lot of ways, yeah.
Ooh, underwater. God, no, this trailer's gorgeous.
Yeah, the trailer's amazing.
Yeah. I haven't watched that yet. Light No Fire. Yeah, that looks very cool. People building up towns and stuff. Yeah, that's awesome. I'll check that out. All right, Hello Games. Jess, what's on the horizon for you? What games are you looking forward to? Do you still
gosh.
check the release dates? And when's the last time you stood in line at a game release night?
So that's been a while, especially like a midnight release party. Those are kind of a thing of the past for the most part.
Oh, that's so sad. You remember how pumped we used to get for stuff like that?
Oh,
Gee
so
whiz.
pumped. I still remember it, like the Blair Witch midnight release party that we had at my local video store.
It's hilarious. I love
great
that.
time.
Oh man.
Plenty of games. But I mean, I am there at midnight for some game releases still. It's just now it's, a comfort of my couch
Yeah,
waiting to
now
click
it's
download.
download. Yeah.
or start
Install
because,
now.
Xbox let me pre-install in some cases. But looking forward this fall, there are a couple. I mentioned Star Wars Outlaws earlier. That is the Star Wars
Right. That'll
game
be fun.
from Ubisoft that I think you'll probably like too, Andrew, because it's got an Uncharted kind of vibe. People are very much saying it seems like Uncharted Star Wars.
Ooh, you just tickled my fancy right there.
It looks good. Looks really good. Obviously, Avowed. We talked about it. Some people have to see more about whether or not they like it. Avowed is probably my most anticipated for the rest of the year.
Avowed. What's that about?
That's the Obsidian fantasy game. A little bit like Skyrim, a little bit like Outer Worlds, kind of in between.
Castle defense.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. It's a classic RPG, but more linear RPG than a Skyrim type.
Cool.
We will see when we get there. And yeah, a number of others. I mean, so many. It's going to be a good year. And even better next year, I think. But those are two on my list.
I know that they just released Mario Wonder like a couple of months ago, but there's already another Mario game coming out that Mo and I are like 3 Mario games behind. We need to hurry up.
Yeah, I definitely need to check out Wonder for the whole 2D thing, and
Yeah.
they'll have a new Mario soon enough, probably next year. Maybe with
They come out every
New
15
Switch.
minutes.
Seems like it. It's we were talking about kart earlier too. I was telling you about Crash Team Racing, which is my
Right.
favorite kart racer. I played a bit of that last night. That was fun to revisit too. That's a really fun kart game.
When is that game from?
It's from the mid '90s, late '90s.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's an old one. It was contemporary with the original Mario Kart, like Mario Kart 1 or 2.
Really? That's great.
So it's a remake. So it's got a few more bells and whistles. It looks better, but it still feels very late '90s.
Oh, man, this will be fun. I like showing Mo the retro games, and he sometimes will be, a little held back by the like graphics or mechanics or something. For the most part, though, he popped on Castlevania and he's hopping around killing vampires and stuff.
A really good game is a really good game, especially the console ones. They hold up.
I couldn't find Contra. You remember Contra, Jess? I was looking for that to show him that because we had so much fun with Contra. I couldn't find it.
Yeah,
So-
Contra, Double Dragon, a lot of those.
Oh God, I need to find Double Dragon. He and I are gonna play Double Dragon tomorrow. We're gonna
Yeah,
we're
that
gonna
or like
play-
Golden Axe.
We're gonna install. Oh man. Oh, what about Altered Beast for the Genesis? Oh, so good.
Altered Beast. If you go back and play it, it's not quite as good as some of the others that you might think.
Oh, that makes me sad. Okay, I'm not going to do that because I
Still
remember that
fun.
game being the best fucking thing ever. So
Preserve those memories.
Yeah, don't ever play that game again because it's too fun.
But like Master Blaster holds up. Like lots of them hold up from Nintendo and Genesis era for sure.
That's great. Yeah. All right. Was there any other stuff that we need to get into tonight, you guys?
No.
Well, in that case, you can find him on the Twitter at RayLB and all of your No Man's Sky needs at BBCISSS for the Butcher, Baker, Candlemaker in Space. Ray, going to start yet another podcast for the new Light No Fire?
Well, we'll have to see.
And pending on that show at Ray Light No Rays. How about that? We'll make you a new Twitter handle. If Twitter will be around. Anyway, Ray, thanks so much for hopping on.
Good times.
You can find her over there at Sleep is 4T, also at Games Who Dame, and at You Wastelanders. What are you doing with You Wastelanders, Jess?
Not much. It has been exactly a year this past week since I was doing regular weekly streams. We've done about 6 streams in the last year. We do have one planned on the schedule for August for the next theater show. Yeah, for the next Wasteland Theater Company show. So we got that.
Remind me what production you're doing again? You told us a couple weeks ago, I think.
Yeah, so we are doing oh my goodness, Richard the Ghoul. It's an adaptation, but we changed the name.
That's
so instead of Richard
fun.
V, it's Richard the Ghoul. It's very fun. Bit of a Western theme to it.
Good job.
We've done it as a bit of a comedy too. I know it's one of the more dramatic ones, but we're adding some real comedy to it. So.
Who does your adapting and the writing? That's awesome.
Northern Harvest. He's the founder of the Wasteland Theater Company, and he directed the first several. He's been doing all the adaptations, and then we kind of rewrite them a little bit as we go, and as things occur to the actors and stuff like that, we'll do a little on the fly.
Excellent.
Bramadou has directed the last couple. He's also played some of the main characters. He's going to be the ghoul for this one. So it's fun. We took longer on this one than planned. Originally, it was going to be, out in June, but delays. Things happen.
They happen. Anyway, thanks so much for hopping on tonight, Jess. Good to see you.
My pleasure. Don't say goodbye. Say good journey.
Say good journey. If you'd like to contact me, I can be found by joining our Facebook group, and the show can be found at the Fallout Feed. I'd like to thank everyone for downloading this edition of the Fallout Feed, and we will see you in the Wasteland.
Thank you for downloading this episode of the Fallout Feed Roundtable. If you are interested in doing a play-along character with us, the show can be contacted by emailing falloutroundtable@gmail.com. For the roundtable schedule, our Amazon link, and all other show information, please head on over to asapodcasting.com, where you will find the Fallout Feed, a Skyrimatic podcast, our YouTube channel, the Chatterbox, as well as other content. Once again, thank you for downloading, and we'll see you in the wasteland.
The colon is silent, as it should be.
Grumble, grumble, grumble.
Harvested organs around every corner.